everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Cook the Book. I am so excited for the recipe we are making today because not only is it probably one of my favorite recipes in the book, but it is so meaningful to me, besides how delicious it is and how much of a staple it's been in my life, actually. It's just insanely delicious. It's authentic. It's the way my grandmother made it. It's the way my mother makes it, and there is nothing better. We are making salad cuite, which is on page 34 of the book. The recipe is all here. It is a bit of a long and tedious process, even though there's only very minimal ingredients: tomatoes, garlic, peppers, jalapenos, a little bit of paprika. That's it. Like, that's all you need. It's more about the technique and the process. So it's gonna cook all day, and I'm gonna take you through it to show you really how simple it is, because you can come and go in and out of the kitchen as you do it. Okay, so let's get started. Allez. Now, a few notes before we start. I am using a Dutch oven. You don't need to use that. I just like my Dutch oven for the sheer size of it because I'm making a very big quantity. I'm also not going exactly to the quantities here because I want to make it more, but just follow the recipe in the book and that will yield like a very decent quantity also. Also, I'm using fresh tomatoes because whole peeled tomatoes are not very easy to come by in Israel. So that you can use 20 whole fresh tomatoes, and I use a thin-skinned peeler. Just type that in Amazon. I'll put a link on the website to my favorite one, and that actually peels the tomatoes really easily. You don't need to make an X, you don't need to boil and put them in ice cold water, nothing like that. Just simply peel them and chop them up into a bowl. We do not want tomato peels in our salad cuite. Please get rid of them. And then garlic. I'm going to take my garlic, I'm going to put it in my pot with a ton of oil, get it in there, and I'm going to cook this on low heat for, I would say, we're not really looking to caramelize the garlic. We want it to get just slightly brown, just so that we know it's cooked, and then we're going to dump in our tomatoes. The tomatoes is actually going to stop the cooking process of the garlic because they're cold and juicy, and it's going to slow it down. But we want this mixture, the garlic and tomatoes, no salt, nothing, just those two ingredients, to cook for as many hours as you can. 4 hours is great, 8 hours is even better. So go out, do some errands, things like that. And then that's it. And then we just roast our peppers, add them in. It's really not a lot, you'll see. Okay, our garlic is just about there. You could see it's like just starting to change color. It's very fragrant. Now is the time we are going to go ahead and add our tomatoes. I actually like to use like a strainer or a ladle to add the chopped tomatoes because a lot of liquid accumulates on the bottom of the bowl. Now, we may add that liquid if our thing cooks too quickly, if our thing cooks too quickly and simmers down to, and becomes too dry. Oh, I am losing my words today. So we're going to reserve that liquid. But to begin with, I like to just put the tomatoes. I want to make sure this is on a low heat because we want this to cook for a long time without burning. And I mean, that's really all there is to step number one. Okay, I have all my tomatoes added to the pot. It looks like a huge amount, but remember, this is going to cook down and reduce. And I have my tomato broth here reserved, which is just the juices of the tomatoes. Now, we may or may not add another ladle of this. Don't throw this stuff out because this is delicious. What can you do with this? This is a Cook the Book bonus. This was actually something that I wanted to put in the book, but it didn't make it in because it was a little too, whatever, patchy. You'll see. You're going to measure this out. You're going to add half the amount of whatever tomato broth you have. You're going to add vegetable stock, okay? You're going to put in a bay leaf. You're going to put in like a chopped up carrot, not too small so you can fish it out, chopped up celery, and a clove of garlic. That's it, okay? You're going to cook it on low heat in a pan for about half an hour, just till it heats through, and then let it simmer covered for like another 15-20 minutes, just so that the flavors combine. And you're gonna cook a piece of fish on your pan. You're gonna dust the fish in a little bit of flour. Personally, I like a white fish for this, but feel free to use salmon or any fish you like, really whatever's freshest at the fishmonger that day. That is what will taste best. And then you're gonna put this in a wide, shallow bowl. You're gonna ladle in your tomato broth. You're gonna put that piece of fish on top. If you wanna oven roast some tomatoes or maybe oven roast some fennel to serve on the side. Ah, delicious, delicious. The dinner's dreams are made of. I am telling you, you can't imagine that a simple thing like the juice of a tomato and a piece of fish could be so good, but it is delicious. Give it a try. Back to our salad cuite. We're basically going to keep mixing this every half hour. You can definitely put somebody on the job in your house. As soon as you see that your mixture has become hot enough and you see little bubbles forming, because Listen, there is more liquid in the instantly releasing lid. Oh, okay. It froze for a second. I hope that's okay. See, as soon as you see bubbles, what you're going to do is you're going to turn your heat down to very low, if it wasn't low yet. You are going to take a cover of your pan and you are going to put the cover lopsided. You see how it's only covering like most of the pan? See that? See how it's still like mostly covered but not all the way covered? And that's how it's going to sit for the next 6 hours, so that steam can escape, so it can reduce down, but it's not going to burn. And then remember, you want to come in and keep mixing every half hour so the bottom doesn't scorch. That is it. Okay, folks, we will see you back here in 6 hours when our tomatoes have reduced. While over here, I washed and dried my peppers so that when I'm ready to broil them, which could be at any point, by the way, you don't need to do it in the last half hour before your tomato and garlic is ready. You can broil them now and peel them and have them chopped and ready to go for when you're ready. I'm just not ready yet, but they are washed and dried. Okay, obviously I'm not putting all of these jalapenos or hot peppers in my salad Cuite because that would burn your mouth off. But I am going at the same time as I make the salad Cuite to make the roasted pepper, the roasted jalapeno and garlic dip because, you know, I'm roasting peppers anyway. So I always buy extra for that at the same time to just, you know, strip in there. My peppers all here waiting to go in the oven and bowls to steam them with. I have one batch in the oven. Now, this is what the salad Cuite looks like after about, I would say, 2 hours. You could see it has darkened in color slightly. It has reduced quite a bit. It was like up to here before. And I just keep stirring it. I'm going to put the lid back on now and good to go. Back to the salad Cuite. My first batch of peppers is out of the oven. I just stuck my green peppers in. Then I have my jalapenos. I have my plastic covered bowl ready to go. You want to seal this really tight so that it can steam, keep all that steam, and that's what's going to make the peel really, really easy to come off. That's going to sit now. Cover it with a towel, even a piece of foil if you want, and let that go. All right, it's been about an hour. My peppers have really softened and steamed. I mean, you could see how easily that peel just comes right off. The first thing I'm gonna do is take the liquid that came out of the peppers and just strain it before it gets all like seedy and stuff like that. It's not like eggplants, so it's not as bitter. It does have a slight bitterness, but sometimes if I want to add a little bit more of a pepper flavor to my salad Cuite, I do add like 1 spoonful of this. So obviously I don't need all of it, but I just like to reserve it. Okay, so now let's show you how we peel the peppers. I have a pepper here, not peeled, stem is still in. The first thing I like to do is just gently split open the pepper. Very oftentimes some of the peppers will be already split opened. And then I use my pinky and I simply scrape out all the seeds. I do not want these seeds. These are not like hot peppers. The seeds in hot peppers do actually add spice and flavor, so I do like to keep those. Obviously, if you wanted your food less spicy, you would take out. Simply scrape out all the seeds. I do not want these seeds. These are not like hot peppers. The seeds in hot peppers do actually add spice and flavor, so I do like to keep those. Obviously, if you wanted your food less spicy, you would take out the seeds. And then I always keep a bowl of water so I can just dip my finger because the seeds like to stick to your gloves. Then I flip it around. If there's any seeds here, I just add it to my pile. Then I have a flat pepper. I take it, and the peel literally just slides right off. I pull it off. I keep another bowl right here, which is my garbage bowl, and I just add my peels to the garbage. That peel and de-seed all my peppers. I pile up my pepper peels right here, and then at the end I just go in and chop them up, kind of like an assembly line. It's the neatest, quickest way to work, and this is really why it's important to peel your peppers. See this? It really doesn't break down in the sauce ever, so you would have all these peels floating around your sauce. It's really unappetizing. It never breaks down. Peppers really, really do need to be peeled. They have a much better flavor and texture and mouthfeel, and that's how I do it. Just continue working, set aside your peppers, get out the skin and seeds, and then I'll show you how to cut them. Okay, you can see I have all my peppers peeled and de-seeded. Oh, we have 2 runaways right there. Okay, got it out. I have my knife. I'm gonna move my pile over, and now what I like to do is pile up a few peppers at a time, not too many, and you just want to go ahead and cut thin strips, just like this, and then take all of your thin strips and just cut them in half. That's it. They don't all need to be the same size. It's fine. Just that you have pieces like about this size that are going to be in your salad Cuite. take a reserved bowl and add all your pepper strips to the bowl. Your red peppers, your green peppers, and your spicy peppers can all go into the same bowl now. That's it. Okay, we are moving on to the green peppers. You can see like when they steam nicely how easily the peels just come right off. I mean, it literally could not be easier than this. Then I'm going to do the same thing, de-seed, thinly slice, add to my bowl. All right, it's time to peel the hot peppers. The hot peppers I do a little differently. I just peel and I don't actually take out the seeds because I like the heat. If you are nervous about the spiciness level of the salad cuite, which is reasonable, you're allowed to be, you can go ahead and remove those seeds and it will save you from a lot of the spiciness factor. The peel comes off very easily. You just want to be a tad bit more gentle because the peel to flesh ratio is a little bit lower. Take your peppers. Just pull the stems out, just like that. See, they just pop right off. You don't even need a knife. They are so tender and so delicious, but they are very spicy. Do not touch your hands to your face. If you don't want to wear gloves for the rest of the pepper part, that's absolutely fine. But for the hot peppers, I highly, highly recommend you wearing gloves because I have before not worn gloves and then touched my eye with the peppery hands, and it is in fact extremely unpleasant. Now, last but not least, it's time to chop the hot peppers. I'm not using all of these for my salad cuite, like I said, so I'm just going to divide them up. I'll probably use 3 or 4 or maybe 5 or 6. It is a big batch and we do like it spicy, but you know, please God, you know, we'll be in a situation where we could have guests. I know that's hopeful thinking right now in 2020, but I would like it to be true. I cut the hot peppers very thinly, and then even more than that, I do go in and give it like a little bit more of a chop than I do to the bell peppers because obviously they are spicy and their flavor is a little more intense. Add that to your bowl. I think I'm gonna add 1 more in there for a total of 5 peppers for this batch. And that's it. Everybody, my tomatoes have reduced down a lot. You could see it was originally up to there. Now we have really like, I mean, it has darkened, it has soft, it is broken down, it looks delicious. I'm gonna go ahead and add all my peeled and chopped roasted peppers. I'm going to go ahead and add my paprika. I don't add too much, just very little. And I'm going to add my salt. Also, you don't need too much salt, so just follow the recipe. I'm gonna mix this. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to let it simmer for 1 more hour, stirring every 20 minutes. And that's it. Look at how good this looks. Yum. Look at that. That is a big, giant pot of salad cuite. You could see because we added the peppers, it like bulked right back up. We have a lot here. This has to go for another hour covered, stirring often so the tomato and garlic and peppers can come together as one. I mean, that's the good stuff right there. Yes. I can't ever get enough of it. Like I can literally just look at it and eat it all day long.